What's up, guys? This is D. I'm bringing you another Marvel Contest of Champions video. Uh, this is a kind of a dark day in the game. I'm sure if you're subscribed to some of these other bigger YouTubers who play the game and talk about the game, you've seen some of the stuff that's come out about it. I'm gonna give my 2 cents here. I'm gonna try to make this quick. I try not to get too ranty and too rambly, but Kabam has, in my opinion, done the unthinkable, and that is completely screw over because there really isn't any other explanation. They've completely screwed over all their players, but this is especially detrimental to new players, and we'll talk about why. So, what am I talking about here? There's an announcement that Kabam came out with yesterday. Said they're updating synergies and masteries. So they're going to be two major updates. There's a number of updates, but they fall under one of these two categories. The first one is dealing with the synergy bonus of leadership, which is the block proficiency synergy. They are removing that synergy from the game. Period. And you're hearing right when I say that. Block proficiency has now been removed from the game in its entirety. The next thing they've done is they have changed masteries. So masteries now, and the biggest change there is that they're nerfing willpower, and then they've introduced new masteries that also further, I guess, attack or defeat willpower. Willpower. So they're trying to remove the effectiveness of willpower in the game. So in this announcement, they gave you a tier 4 catalyst to say, hey, my bad. And then they're also announced some other stuff. So if you had a character that had the leadership synergy, and you've leveled them up, they're saying you can sell them and get all of the leveling up items you used for them. So you recover your tier 4s basically. What you don't recover is your ISO 8. So take that as it is. Additionally, so there's all those. Additionally, they're refunding the units used on willpower. So there's that. So if you have willpower and those characters, if you want your tier 4s back, you can sell them. If you don't want them back, you have to keep them. There's no like rollback or anything like that where you can say, oh, I didn't want to take them to rank 5 or rank 4 or whatever. So I'll just roll it back to rank 4. No, you either sell them and don't have that character anymore and get your stuff back, or you deal with it. So yeah, let's look at this a little more in depth. So and again, July 2016. This is gonna go into effect on July 26th. And let's go down to synergies. Synergy bonuses. The ability to achieve 100% block proficiency created a singular mandatory strategy that we saw. Let me say that again. Singular mandatory strategy that saw the same small group of champions brought nearly everywhere. It was never our intention to create a roster of just 5 champions that were most desirable or powerful than the rest. In order to guarantee the well-being of the game going forward, we've removed the leadership synergy and provided a whole host of improvements to synergy bonuses. This statement by them is absolute BS. Period. And let me look at these other synergies. I'll show you. They're not that big of a deal. Cosmic Supremacy, kind of a cool synergy, I guess. Cosmic Champions gain 30% buff duration. So if you've got a healing buff, I don't know any Cosmic Champions do, but that's just an example. If you've got a healing buff, it heals for 30% longer, up to 30% longer. And then they removed synergies, the leadership from everyone who had it. So Black Bolt, War Machine, Doctor Strange, Magneto, and the Cyclopses, they've removed the synergy and they've added something else. Everyone has, all 4 stars have at least 3 synergies now. Some have 4. So that's kind of their announcement in a nutshell. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so here's what it means to me. What does this stuff mean in game? That statement by Kabam is largely false. Here's why. What they're basically doing, and I'm gonna show you that as well. I'm just gonna put it up here on screen. Is they're taking away the ability to perfect block in Realm of Legends and 4.4. That's their intent. Their intent is to make those 2 challenges harder, because when it comes to the synergies, and that's what I'm talking about specifically. When it comes to perfect block, or block proficiency, when it comes to those block proficiency teams, it made the game a lot easier. Now, don't get me wrong here. Realm of Legends is incredibly hard. Incredibly hard. I don't even have a block proficiency team. So you say, when their statement says, it requires the same 5 characters, it only requires 3. It requires the 3 to get, block proficiency of 43%, added to the willpower, not willpower, I'm sorry, the block proficiency synergy, or not synergy, mastery. Good night. The block proficiency mastery, add that 43 to that 8, and then the character's inherent block proficiency. And some, even that isn't enough, but that's kind of the general consensus. So like Camilla Khan, whose block proficiency is absolutely horrid, that still isn't enough to bring her into Realm of Legends and have any level of success if you're blocking. But other champions, it was. So when they say 5 is mandatory, that's not a reality. There's really, and there's no mandatory block proficiency team. There are some that are more beneficial, because of the power of Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. Them having block proficiency as well made them extremely valuable in the game. Far and above better than a lot of the other characters in the game, because of that, the synergy with block proficiency and their overwhelming powers that are inherent in them as well, just made them an incredible combo. So yeah, you can say those 2 are kind of must-haves in this game. I would like to have had them address that, in that maybe they just made them available in a side challenge. Once you reach a certain level, you get a shot at Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch 4 stars and some side challenge, or something like that. I don't know, but I'd rather have seen that than say, because I don't have Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch. So, I had no plans on attempting Realm of Legends. And let's talk about, when you say, oh, there's 5, let's talk about some of the 2 other characters that a lot of people considered mandatory. One being Guillotine, because of Wolverine's note in Realm of Legends. So Guillotine, to combat his heal, her level 2, turns that on himself, or turns it against him, to actually be able to take him out. So yeah, I can see that. Guillotine is one of the major champions to use for that reason. People use Thor. His ability to get stronger when you're parried, or when he parries, insane. So, hitting him with a few parries and then comboing that into one of his specials did massive amounts of damage, making, Realm of Legends, making him important, or not necessarily necessary, but important for Realm of Legends. Another one being Star-Lord. As your combo meter increases, his damage goes up. So basically now, going back to that statement that they made, it rings really false, because you're still required to have parry. You're still required to have evade, to have any level of success in Realm of Legends. That is the reality, and more so now, because of this. Now those two masteries are now more required, much more highly coveted. There is no beating it without them. But to me, what they've done is they've said, okay, too many people are beating Realm of Legends. Now, Realm of Legends is in no way easy. I have not been able to get past the first character, Winter Soldier. I haven't been able to beat Winter Soldier at all. I have pulled off 250 hit combo against him, and I was using Magneto at the time. But that's it. That's as far as I've gotten against him. So that had taken like 15% of his health or something like that. It was a 3-star Magneto. I have a 3-star. So, but that was it. That's as good as I've done in Realm of Legends. It's not easy. It's absolutely not easy. And then that was using block proficiency. I do have Black Bolt 4-star, combined with that Magneto, and a 2-star Cyclops. I don't even have a 3-star Cyclops. I have 2-star Cyclops. So I was using that block proficiency team, and haven't gotten far at all. I didn't expect to. I practiced comboing so that later on, when I got a Star-Lord, I don't have a Star-Lord either. I have Star-Lord at 2-star, I think. But yeah, later on when I got a Star-Lord, I would be able to use block proficiency to get, a pretty good combo and defeat, Realm of Legends in the future. That was my plans. So, one day I will be able to beat Realm of Legends when I get a Star-Lord, and I practice with Star-Lord, and I can get my timing down, and blah, 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 blah. Now this has become exponentially harder because you can't block. The characters in Realm of Legends, the champions in Realm of Legends, are too strong. They will hit you while you're blocking and take lots of your energy or lots of your health, and you'll die. Blocking is ineffectual in Realm of Legends. So, when they say that they want you to have, they want to create a area of more diversity when the heroes you use, that's not it. That's not the reality. The reality is they want the game to be harder. They want us players to have less success in areas like Realm of Legends. That's what they want, and they admitted it. And I'll put the thing up. I'll put it up. They want the game to be harder. So, they lied to us, first off. And it's evident. It's really evident because no one's complaining about block proficiency. You look at the forums, how many people are complaining about block proficiency? No one. No one. It's not an exploit that makes the game harder. It's not an exploit. You can make an argument for willpower, but nobody's out there going, "Oh man, that block proficiency, Whenever I fought someone with it, I couldn't win. No one's saying that. And that kind of goes to show you that, one, what they care about. And what they care about is making the game more difficult so that you use more potions, that you use more revives. That's what they want. It is. And like, period. That's what they want. They want you using more revives and potions. They want you spending your units in the game, and so they made the game harder. Here's the thing. These people who have been playing, when did this game come out? It's been out a year and a half or so, something like that. They've had the ability to beat Realm of Legends using block proficiency, using willpower. That's the reality. So all those players that have beaten Realm of Legends up to today and up to the 26th, all of those players got an unfair advantage over anyone else who plays Realm of Legends after the 26th. Every decision I've made in game after finding out about block proficiency and after finding out about willpower, every single decision I've made has been from from who to level up versus who not to level up. For down the line, who to hold on to, who not to, who to use so that I'm getting familiar with their moves and their combo set and can get that level of muscle memory so I'm effective in Realm of Legends down the line. All of those decisions are now useless, are now worthless. They're a waste of time, a huge waste of time, actually. If we want to get technical, huge waste of time. So now they're telling me, oh well, we're gonna take something out of the game that was basically as important as, especially in those two areas, in Realm of Legends and Act 4, Act 4, that were as important as the heavy attack, or as important as a 5-hit combo or a 4-hit combo. That's how important those things were, especially block proficiency in those areas of the game. And now you're removing them. People are going to have to relearn to play the game. And I think the investment of time and energy will feel like a waste to so many people that it's going to send them away from the game. And that's a definite shame, because there's not really any reason for it. The logic to me isn't there. It's not found or sound. It's not. I don't understand it. Aside from maybe the fact that Kabam is losing money somehow, or in some sort of financial trouble. But this has really pissed people off here. Make no mistake about that. People are angry. There's a change.org petition now asking Marvel to remove Kabam's license for the characters. That's there. People are pissed about it. The forums are lit up. So many posts over and over again, people complaining about these. And some people praise willpower. A lot of people didn't like willpower. I get that. Okay. But I think even with willpower, I forgot to show you guys, but basically with willpower, what they've done is they've removed the ability to stack debuffs for, really the ability to stack willpower effects on debuffs that are stacked. So, for example, talking about Ant-Man, you have his weakness that can stack like up to 6-7 times. I've seen, and it's just activating willpower over again. 1.5%, 1.5%, 1.5% of health recovery over and over and over again. Well, now what they've done, as they've said, okay, we'll take that, and that'll be one single activation of willpower. And then we'll say, additionally, what they've done is they've made it so that you can't stack willpower activations. So, no, you don't get a willpower activation that stacks on that that single debuff. But say Ant-Man also did poison with his regular attacks. So yeah, he had that weakness, and then he also activated poison. You don't get a 1.5% activation of willpower again on that second debuff. Not anymore. Now they've changed it till it's only anything after that first 1.5 becomes 0.7. So he hits you with poison, 0.7. He hits you with bleed, 0.7. All after that initial willpower activation on the weakness. So again, this is another kind of huge disservice. But then on top of that, they've introduced a couple of new synergies that targets healing characters, obviously to target willpower. And so they've worked to defeat willpower through making it flat out weaker, and then they've worked to target willpower by making it by making others masteries to defeat it. I don't get it. Why go after willpower that much, especially when it costs $200 to get willpower? Let's make no mistake about that. And again, you're talking about, because of the investment, you're talking about complete, game changing decisions that people have made when they've obtained willpower. Their playing habits and their spending habits and all of that thing are directly related to investing $200 in a game on a capability. That's what we're talking about when you say that this is a failure and this is unfair. And then again, going back to leadership, everyone who takes these challenges after that, there's going to be a huge divide now, because everyone who's beat Realm of Legends already, everyone who's beat Act 4 already, who's done 100% exploration of Act 4, all of those people now sit above a kind of break-off point to where everyone below it, to beat those elements of the game, have to relearn their fighting style, to gain the muscle memory to even challenge Realm of Legends, requiring the evade mastery now, since willpower, or excuse me, since the synergies aren't there to help them, now must have the evade mastery. So we're talking about now having to learn that timing, having to learn how that plays into the characters you're fighting in Realm of Legends, or the characters you're fighting in Act 4, and it being requiring almost impeccable timing, impeccable reflexes. So to gain that, you really must have literally the muscle memory. It can't be a thing where you're concentrating on what you're doing and you're thinking about it. You have to just react. So that's going to take a lot of practice. Meanwhile, the people above that line who got to use block proficiency to beat Realm of Legends are going to continue to progress in the ways that they are, while everyone else is training for that Realm of Legends, is training for that 4.4. So, that right there is going to create kind of a huge schism, if you will, a huge no man's land of people who won't be able to go in and immediately beat Realm of Legends, because it has now become exponentially harder. And you got to wonder if they're going to improve the rewards, because the rewards are already good. 3-4 star champions, other stuff. I'll put up a picture of the rewards from Realm of Legends and the rewards from 4.4. In fact, we'll just go take a look at it. But yeah, it's just I I I don't get it. But look at Act 4. These rewards, especially the reward for 100% exploration, are nearly impossible now. So this, for example, 4-star awakening gem, this tier 2 alpha, these are things. The tier 4 class catalyst crystal, a 4-star, you know 3,000 5-star shards. These are so almost impossible to get. Yeah, who here, who do you know? And if you're one of these people, who do you know without block proficiency that can beat this venom tile for 100%? We're just gonna go look at it. I've got a weaker team in here, but for 100% of this map, who can overcome without block proficiency? Who can overcome this venom tile? So let's go over to it. Okay, because this is what you do. And this one, you go right to him without clearing any of the nodes. So Venom in this situation has all of these power-ups. 9, 13, 6, 17 power-ups. All of this stuff. Right? So he's hitting incredibly hard. So blocking when he's hitting incredibly hard, useless. Absolutely useless. I'm going to go in here with my Juggernaut. I don't have a block proficiency team, so we'll show how much damage Venom does. Block damage. Venom does. If he doesn't uppercut me, I'll try to dodge if he does. I'll try to evade if he does. But, that's what we're talking about here. Yeah. Oh, there's the uppercut. So, yeah, you're looking at a lot of block damage there. 705, 408, 636. That's block damage. 408 block damage? Come on, guys. 400 block damage. That was all Juggernaut, who has his, various buffs. So it's ridiculous. Going to Realm of Legends, you're gonna run into the same thing. There are ways that they could have fixed the game, or at least whether it's adding a mastery that allows you to increase block proficiency, or maybe improving the block proficiency mastery. And again, them not doing that shows that their intent is to make the game harder. There's no other intent but to make the game harder. It's evident in the fact that they didn't make a counter to taking away the block proficiency synergy. They want you to not be able to have block proficiency, because they could take it away, put it back as a mastery, and then you're not required to have certain champions, right? You can take anyone in, but you have your block proficiency mastery, so it doesn't matter, right? But no, that's not what they want. They want the game harder. That's not what they want. Don't let them fool you. That's not what they want. They want the game to be harder. I'll say it again. They want the game to be harder. They want new new players to have to work harder, period. Let's be honest. Kabam, be honest. That's what you want. So anyway, I've talked for way too long. I'm going to find ways to cut this video down a little bit, but it's a really dark day, in my opinion, for this game. So anyway, I'm going to start it out right now, guys. Give me your comments. Give me your suggestions. Go sign the change.org petition. I'll put a link up. That may be harsh. I don't know. I'd like to see because they made the announcement. I'd like to see if they stick with it as it is, because there's a lot of backlash on the forums. Go read the forums. Go comment. Go let them know how you feel about this. Forums is probably the best way. Let them know how you feel. Maybe we can make a difference here. All right, guys. Hit me up in game. DNONAMUS is my in-game name. Or hit me up on, send me a message below. Like, share, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Thanks for stopping by and listening to me rant a little bit. This is Anonymous talking about Marvel Contest of Champions, comic book ranting. I'm out.